So now generally we can just consider nirvana, the freedom from all the sufferings. And the number 4 is the ultimate solution. So when we talk about the fourth noble truth, and that also leads us to the behind way, the Eightfold Path. So when we go to the Eightfold Path, so Eightfold Path is the path which leads us to the nirvana, which liberates us from the suffering and delivers us to the nirvana. So that is the path, and the path in general terms, as I mentioned before, the middle path, the middle way approach. So that is the middle path, what Buddha brought most uniquely from all these spiritual schools in Indian subcontinent. So the path, the middle way, or in detail, the Eightfold Path is the solution. So the Eightfold Path is also, this 8 is categorized into 3. So the 3 practices which are categorized into the Eightfold Path is the discipline one, number 1 discipline, or we can put into second according to this order. We can go to the wisdom, discipline, and concentration. So that is the 3 practices, and in the detail is the Eightfold Path. Number 1, right view. Number 2, right thought. Number 3, right speech. These 3 are from the disciplinary perspective. So we have to discipline ourselves. Our mind, whatever we point out, our mind, our speech, and our body. So when we maintain or organize this system of mind, speech, and body in a proper way, because we have our habitual patterns, we have habits collected or accumulated by our subconscious mind. So we always tend to do our actions driven by the subconscious mind. So that's why we get into problems. Otherwise, we would want to do what we should be doing. But even I myself also, we have the habits, so habits drive us mostly and make us do what we don't want to do. So I think you can relate with yourself also. So that's why we have to organize the mind, body, and the speech system. We should be speaking in a proper manner. We should be thinking in a proper manner. We should have our view in a proper way. So right view, right understanding is the number 1. So normally when Buddha is teaching about the 4 Noble Truths, so having the correct view with the 4 Noble Truths itself is a right view in number 1. So like again, why is it talking about suffering? So it's not appropriate if somebody says that, and that is a wrong view according to this. So right view, like I'm not saying like you have to accept whatever Buddha taught. Buddha also didn't say whatever I told you don't accept it. Like just because I said it, Buddha had, like from the spiritual gurus, Buddha is probably the only one of those only one who allowed us to think and have our views in our own way. But like all the teachings we can consider as a reference provided by him. So right view and then right thought. This Eightfold Path, some people also make it very simple way, so relating with our individual life, personal life. And in a deeper meaning, I'm going with the deeper meaning because it is from the Buddhist perspective. So when you go into the web and Google, then I saw most of it the very normal, basic perspective, not from the Buddhist perspective. So that's why I have to, like, having right view. Normally, we all know we need to have right view, like the person in front of you, your family members, your society, your nation, the President Donald Trump. So you have to have right view with everybody.
I don't know about that.
you have to have right view. So. And right thought, so you have your thinking system should be in a right manner. So generally we say negativity and positivity. So everybody understand easily that when you have your mind in a negative condition, so you have the wrong thoughts being produced out of your mind. So I apologize for the alarm. So let me silence it. So right thought, our thought should be, thought itself is a kind of programmed by our mind, so we have to change the way of thinking by the practice, spiritual practice in general. And when we consider Buddhism, the Buddhist practice itself is all about like changing the way of thinking and your mind system. So right thought and then right speech. Also, right speech also normally like lying, telling lies is one of the wrong speech if we need to categorize. So lying and then gossiping. Gossiping is also very strictly mentioned by Buddha. So that's what limits us into what forbids us from our goals, our ambitions, because the gossiping people always remain where they are, and also what we call in the modern language the loser. So gossip mostly are gossipers, and accusing others, also accusing others and speaking harmful speeches. So like most people learn, when people learn the new language, they mostly learn the abusive words, mostly what I found. Myself also learning about 4 or 5 languages. So in the primary period, you always learn the wrong speech first. So, and apart from the wrong, when you have, you want people to get trouble, to get stressed, or get worried, so try to frighten away someone by words. So that's what people with negative mindset do nowadays mostly. So all the terrorism also is mostly with when they do something by speech is having the hatredful speech full of hatred to the people, so that they get tortured mentally. So and then these 3 are from the wisdom part. So you have to have the right. Sorry, I messed up. The number 1 and number 2 is the wisdom part. So right view and right thought. And other 3 are from the disciplinary. Disciplinary is mostly considered related with the behavior and mannerisms. So you have to have right speech and right actions. So we are being vegan, right action and right livelihood. I think it will not be too difficult to understand. So our livelihood should be from the proper sources and from the proper occupations, jobs, actions, whatever you do, and then the right action number 4 also. So not stealing. If we need to list down, then not stealing, and then no killing. Number 1 is no killing. So no killing, no violence is number 1. So and then the no sexual misdeeds according to here. In the Buddhist monastery community, the monks are not supposed to have any relationships, any sexual relationship, whatever. And to the lay people, it's mostly not have this relationship or sexual intercourse with anybody other than your wife and husband. So you have to have honesty with your partners. So that's what this is about. So, and then no killing, no stealing, no sexual misdeeds, and no causing harm. So these are the wrong actions which we are supposed to get rid of. And then right livelihood, I have already mentioned. And then the last three are related with concentration and mindfulness or meditation. So there is three processes. So many people nowadays, like especially the Western world, when they are fed up with the superficial their scenarios, then many Westerners nowadays get attracted to the spiritual world, and also Asia is one of the reason they want to come for spiritual reasons also. So, and why I told that is because many people, whether it's Western or the Eastern one, some have like, oh, I want to do meditation. Somebody inspired them to do meditation, or they read some book, or they feel like I should do meditation in initial period, and due to some reasons. Number one reason is not having proper instructions. Like they have some books. For some people, the books will also might be adequate, but in some condition, book might not be adequate. So the most essential thing is kind of instructions. So somebody can instruct you to do meditation, and some people even they have books and instructions also, but they don't have the passions and so they don't have passions and persistence. So what happens is like you have to figure out when you are starting to do meditation. So meditation is not like, oh, this is a red color. So when we are into our own individual meditation practice, it's kind of adventure where we experience differently. I think everybody figures out differently, everybody experiences meditation differently. Only the philosophies from the spiritual teachings guides them in their own way. So why I told this is because people who don't have tolerance, who don't have like persistence, so they get fed up. Oh, it's like difficult than the difficult thing to do. Like even like carrying the very like weighty things, weighty stuffs, or like beating someone like Muhammad Ali or someone Mike Tyson. It's difficult, but you know what to do at least if you are able to do. If you want to punch Mike Tyson, you might not be able to because he will be very fast and very. but at least you know what to do. So you have your own willingness and you have your own imagination how I will do. So if you plan fighting against Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali. So some people find meditation difficult than that because you don't know what to do. And especially you are doing something which is not about doing something. And when you reach in the very deeper meaning of meditation, it's mostly like, it's more about not doing than doing. Meditation is, you are getting rid of doing all the actions. So that's why these three processes, the number one, the right effort is because you have to put effort again and again. Some beginners of meditation practitioners, they complain, oh, thoughts are arising again and again, they are making me frustrated. So the solution is like you put effort again and again. They think they have different kind of solution, but there is no different kind of solution. You put effort again and again, you get used to meditation, you put effort again and again. So if within 1 hour, if your mind wanders into thoughts like 1,000 times, then when you put constant effort for many days, many months, then the 1,000 times of your mind wandering gets reduced into like 500 times or 100 times. So that is the success when you proceed and put a constant effort for many days and months. So that's why right effort is number one thing. So you can relate with other individual part also, individual life also. And because with your work also, you have your jobs, you have your like home duties. So you have to put some effort. So those efforts should be right. And then right mindfulness. So mindfulness is like, in our traditional Buddhist teaching, there is a comparison with the chariot. So when you are driving a chariot, the charioteer drives the horses by, I'm sorry if it is offensive for veganism. So when you pull, you have the ropes of which is tied to the horse's nose, I guess. So when you have the ropes, you have the full authority of that horse. So the horse we can consider is like that mind, which is the cause of all of our problems. So mindfulness, or we can consider our memory power. So the mindfulness, if you have the mindfulness, you have a good stamina of mindfulness, then you are also able to reduce your efforts because you don't need much efforts. Your mindfulness will fill up everything. If you are aware of what you are thinking, what you are doing, so that is mindfulness in general terms. So we compare the mindfulness with the rope of that chariot horse. So when you have mindfulness, you can drive your mind anywhere you want. So then you have your own authority over your mind. So also the saying, not let your mind control you, but you make yourself controlling your mind. So we can control our mind. The objective of Buddhist practice also is controlling our mind. And the final one is kind of concentration. So when we put right efforts, we have right mindfulness. So we are able to have constant concentration. So what we also call samadhi in our own terms. So I think samadhi, the state of what Buddha reached, and still if we as an ordinary being also, if we are able to remain in constant mindfulness for a long period, so we are being Buddha for a short period, for a while. So those are the eightfold path, as Buddha mentioned. The previous masters also practiced this eightfold path. I also practice this eightfold path. In future, if anybody wants to get liberation, freedom from the suffering, you have to practice the eightfold path. So that's what Buddha taught. And that much for eightfold path. And